So hello there, my name's Wayne Westacott from the Devon Education Welfare Service. I have my colleague Emma Hamilton with me too.
Hello.
Okay, so today we're putting together two short, snappy videos for schools on how to raise a penalty notice in response to unauthorised term time absence. So there are expectations upon schools and the local authority with regard to penalty notices and the issuing of them. So local authorities are expected to have in place a system of challenge to support schools in managing unauthorised term time absence. So Devon County Council has such a process in place. And so there is a process for schools to refer parents and carers who have taken unauthorised term time absence to Devon County Council. And this process allows the local authority to issue a penalty notice to those parents, carers guilty of the offence. So like I say, it is a legal expectation that schools use and make use of this process. So DCC, Devon County Council, the Department for Education and Ofsted all expect schools to make appropriate use of these processes and procedures to challenge unauthorised term time absence. And if you're not using them and you're not issuing penalty notices, then really you should be considering exactly how you justify why you're not using it. So term time absence. Regulation 7 of the pupil regulations cite three important criteria for schools when considering requests for authorised term time absence. Criteria are, first off, the leave must be made in advance using the S2 form. That's the form that we use in Devon. The request should come from the parent with whom the pupil normally resides. And this one's super important. It's a safeguarding issue. The request should come from the parent with whom the pupil normally lives. And thirdly, that request should be supported by evidence of exceptional circumstances. So this means for a request to be authorised, it must evidence the criteria of exceptional circumstances. The law does not grant parents, carers a right to take their children out of school during term time. The law only allows head teachers the discretion to authorise a request which is supported by evidence of a suitable exceptional circumstance. The government's very clear that family holiday is not considered to be an exceptional circumstance.
The legal warning. To be able to issue a penalty notice, the Devon County Council Code of Conduct requires that parents and carers have been suitably warned of the legal implications of taking unauthorised absence in term time. This warning is found on the S2 absence request form. However, if an S2 is not used or returned, or the school has no evidence of having issued the legal warning prior to the absence being taken, there will be no penalty notice issued. In these circumstances, Devon County Council would only be able to issue a warning letter. In short, no legal warning, no penalty notice. Therefore, schools can help themselves by ensuring that their term time absence process includes additional opportunities to evidence the issuing of the legal warning. Devon County Council recommends issuing all parents and carers with the biannual warning letter, ideally to be sent in September and April, ensuring that it is addressed to the parents and carers by name, or that it is addressed to the parents and carers of the named child. Retain a copy for evidence. Good practice suggests issuing a holiday refusal letter, again addressed to the parents and carers, or the parents and carers of the named child. This can be sent alongside the refused S2 request. This will also contain the legal warning. Retain a copy for evidence.
Okay, so suggested steps for a school penalty notice process. Step 1, as recommended by DCC, issue all parents, carers the biannual warning letter. Devon County Council recommends issuing this letter in September and again in April. the letter should be addressed to the named parents' carers, i.e. Mr. J. Smith and Mrs. J. Smith, or addressed to the parent carers of the named child, i.e. to the parent carer of Billy Smith. Make sure that you can evidence that this letter has been sent and that you have retained a copy for future use if a penalty notice is to be requested. The biannual warning letter, a template copy of this is available upon request. Step 2. Parents' carers complete the most up-to-date S2 form and submit this to the school with evidence of the exceptional circumstances to be considered for the leave. School then considers the request and makes an appropriate decision based on the evidenced exceptional circumstances. Step 3. School returns the completed S2 to the parents' carers, retaining a copy of the whole form for their records. Step 4. School considers sending the holiday refusal letter to the parents' carers. This reinforces the legal warning and advises that if the leave is taken, then the parents' carers leave themselves liable to the penalty notice legal process. The holiday refusal letter, a template copy, again, is available upon request. Step 5. The family take the unauthorised leave. Upon the pupil's return, the school completes the penalty notice request forms and sends them to DCC legal team as soon as possible after the child has returned and attended for 2 weeks. So in short, the family take the holiday, the child returns, the school has 2 weeks of attendance, and at that point, the school completes and returns the form to Devon County Council.
And the required criteria for a penalty notice request. There must be a minimum of 10 sessions of unauthorised term time absence. You must cite a minimum of 2 weeks attendance before the leave and 2 weeks after. Again, no warning, no penalty notice. Referrals need to be made in a timely manner. The penalty notice process is a legal process and subject to legal time constraints. Try to complete your penalty notice request as soon as possible after the leave has been taken, and ideally within 10 working days of the pupil returning to school. The most up-to-date forms can be found on the Devon County Council website.
And that's it for this video now. So the next video that we're going to do will be on how to complete the forms themselves.